10 voices, 10 legends, 10 artists who didn't just sing R&B, they defined it, shaped it, and elevated it to art. We're not ranking by album sales or chart positions. This is about pure vocal mastery, emotional depth, and cultural impact that transcends generations. From the Queen of Soul to the Prince of Motown, from church pews to the world stage, these singers didn't follow trends, they created them. This is the definitive list of the greatest R&B singers of all time. And if your favorite didn't make it, the comment section is waiting for you. Let's dive in. Number 10, Chaka Khan.
I didn't know it was the next thing I felt.
If you want to understand the sheer power of the human voice, you listen to Chaka Khan. That raspy, earth-shaking tone could shake the walls of any venue she performed in.
Been so long, I knew it just what I would do.
Yet she could turn around and deliver the most tender, vulnerable notes with surgical precision.
I've been waiting for you.
Born Yvette Marie Stevens in Chicago in 1953, Chaka formed the funk band Rufus in 1973 and immediately changed the game. When Stevie Wonder wrote, "Tell Me Something Good," specifically for her voice, the world got its first taste of what Chaka could do. The song won a Grammy and announced the arrival of a vocal powerhouse. But it was "I'm Every Woman" in 1978 that cemented her legend status. That song became more than just a hit. It became an anthem of female empowerment that transcended music and entered cultural consciousness. Women didn't just sing along, they claimed it as their personal declaration of strength and identity. Then came "Ain't Nobody" in 1983 with Rufus. That song showcased everything special about Chaka's voice. The power, the control, the emotion, the ability to make you feel every single word she sang. It went to number 1 on the R&B charts and proved she could dominate both funk and soul with equal mastery.
I can't resist this sweet surrender.
Chaka Khan has won 10 Grammy Awards across 5 decades, sold over 70 million records worldwide, and influenced generations of singers from Mary J. Blige to Beyoncé to Alicia Keys. Her voice is a force of nature, and at number 10, she sets the standard for what vocal greatness truly means. Number 9, Otis Redding. Otis Redding had a 5-year recording career, just 5 years.
Them young girls, they do get weary.
And in that impossibly short time, he became one of the most influential singers in music history, changing R&B forever, with a voice that sounded like raw emotion given human form. Born in Dawson, Georgia in 1941, Otis grew up singing gospel in church before moving to Macon and signing with Stax Records in 1962. His voice was different from the smooth Motown sound dominating radio.
Just anticipating.
Otis was gritty, rough, unpolished in the most beautiful way possible. He didn't just sing about pain. You could hear it tearing through every note.
Just a little bit of tenderness.
Songs like "Try a Little Tenderness" and "I've Been Loving You Too Long" showcased his ability to take you on an emotional journey.
And it may
On building from whispers to explosive crescendos that left audiences absolutely devastated.
but the soft words, they are spoke so gentle, yeah.
When he performed at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967, he introduced a mostly white rock audience to soul music's power, and they were forever changed.
Oh, build their home, happiness.
3 days after recording his masterpiece, Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay, Otis died in a plane crash on December 10, 1967. He was only 26 years old.
Try a little tenderness, yeah.
The song was released posthumously and became his first and only #1 hit, a bittersweet triumph that showed the world what they'd just lost. In 5 years, Otis Redding influenced Mick Jagger, Rod Stewart, Al Green, and countless others. His voice remains the blueprint for emotional intensity in R&B. That's not longevity of career. That's immortality of impact. Number 8, Sam Cooke. Before Sam Cooke, gospel music stayed in the church and R&B stayed in the clubs, and never the two shall meet. Sam Cooke changed that forever, bringing the spiritual power of gospel into secular soul music and creating the template every R&B singer after him would follow. Born in Clarksdale, Mississippi in 1931, Sam started as lead singer of the gospel group The Soul Stirrers, where his smooth, controlled voice made him a sensation in the church world. But in 1957, he did something controversial. He crossed over to secular music with You Send Me, a love song that went to #1 on both pop and R&B charts. What made Sam's voice special was its effortless smoothness. He had perfect pitch, impeccable diction, and a tone that felt like warm honey.
It's been a long...
So he could make the simplest melodies sound profound, turning 3-minute pop songs into emotional experiences that stayed with you forever.
Oh, yes it will. It's been too...
But Sam was more than just a voice. He was a visionary businessman who founded his own record label, SAR Records, becoming one of the first black artists to own his masters and publishing rights.
Ever since, it's been a long...
He understood that true freedom meant controlling your own art and your own destiny.
Then I go...
His masterpiece, A Change Is Gonna Come, released in 1964, became the unofficial anthem of the civil rights movement, proving that soul music could be both beautiful and revolutionary.
Hang around. It's been a long...
Tragically, Sam was shot and killed on December 11, 1964, at just 33 years old under circumstances that remain controversial to this day.
Oh, yes it will.
But his influence is eternal. Every smooth R&B singer you've ever loved learned from Sam Cooke first.
Help me, please.
Number 7, Al Green. Al Green's voice is what heaven sounds like if heaven decided to make you fall in love.
Whatever you want to do.
That impossibly smooth tone, those effortless falsetto runs, that ability to sound completely vulnerable and absolutely confident at the same time.
You make me feel so brand new.
Al Green made romance sound sacred. Born in Forest City, Arkansas in 1946, Al grew up singing gospel before forming a soul group in the 60s. But it wasn't until he partnered with producer Willie Mitchell at High Records in Memphis that he found his true sound. Between 1971 and 1974, Al had 11 consecutive top 10 R&B hits, a streak of dominance that still stands as one of the greatest runs in music history. Let's Stay Together, in 1971, became his signature song and one of the most enduring love songs ever recorded. While that song showcased everything magical about Al's voice, the silky smoothness, the emotional depth, the way he could float into falsetto and make your heart skip a beat.
Come on, help me sing this. Look, turn around and make up.
It went to #1 on both R&B and pop charts and has been covered countless times, but nobody has ever matched Al's Then there's Love and Happiness, a song that somehow captures the complete spectrum of human emotion in 5.5 minutes. Al doesn't just sing about love. He makes you feel every beautiful, complicated, messy aspect of it. In 1976, Al became an ordained pastor and founded the Full Gospel Tabernacle Church in Memphis, balancing his secular music career with his spiritual calling. He's won 11 Grammy Awards across both gospel and R&B, proving that the sacred and the sensual can coexist in one extraordinary voice.
Listen, 90% of you watching right now aren't subscribed yet. If these stories are blowing your mind, imagine what you're missing. Hit subscribe, turn on that bell, and join the 200,000 R&B fans who never miss a Groove Lens upload.
Number 6. Etta James. Etta James didn't just sing the blues. She lived them, breathed them, and transformed personal pain into some of the most powerful vocal performances in music history. Her voice could whisper secrets in your ear one moment and shake the foundations of a building the next. Born Etta Hawkins in Los Angeles in 1938, Etta had a turbulent childhood that would shape the raw emotion in her voice.
Oh, yeah, babe.
She started singing in church, but quickly gravitated toward the blues, where she could channel all her pain, anger, joy, and passion into pure vocal power. At Last, in 1960, became her signature song and one of the most covered songs in American history. But here's what makes Etta's version untouchable. She doesn't just sing about finally finding love. You can hear 50 years of longing, and disappointment and hope fulfilled in every single note.
It's wrapped up.
That's not technique. That's lived experience transformed into art.
Oh, in my heart.
Etta's voice was a fusion of blues grit, gospel soul, and jazz sophistication. She could sing anything, from raw Chicago blues to sophisticated ballads to rock and roll, and make it all sound authentically hers.
In clover.
Songs like I'd Rather Go Blind showcase her ability to convey absolutely devastating heartbreak with vocal control that never loses its emotional edge. She battled heroin addiction for decades, a struggle that nearly destroyed her career multiple times. But Etta kept coming back, kept performing, kept pouring her soul into every performance until she physically couldn't anymore. Etta James passed away on January 20th, 2012, at 73 years old. She won 6 Grammys, 17 Blues Music Awards, and left behind a vocal legacy that proves the greatest singing comes from absolute emotional honesty.
I have never known.
Number 5. Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross represents the absolute pinnacle of technical vocal perfection in R&B history. That voice was velvet wrapped in silk, dipped in honey, and delivered with a precision that bordered on supernatural. Luther didn't just sing love songs. He made falling in love sound like the most elegant, sophisticated, irresistible experience imaginable.
When you opened up your heart and told me to come in.
Born in New York City in 1951, Luther spent years as a background vocalist for artists like David Bowie, Barbra Streisand, and Chaka Khan, before launching his solo career in 1981 with Never Too Much. That debut single announced the arrival of something special.
From you it's never too
a singer who combined technical mastery with emotional depth in ways R&B had never quite heard before. Luther's vocal control was absolutely supernatural. He could hold notes for what felt like forever, bending them, shaping them, caressing them until you felt every emotion he intended you to feel. Songs like Here and Now became wedding staples, not just because of romantic lyrics, but because Luther sang them with such conviction that you believed love could actually be that perfect. Here's a remarkable fact. Despite selling over 40 million records and having 13 consecutive #1 R&B albums, Luther never had a #1 pop single. That's not a failure. That's proof that true greatness doesn't always need mainstream validation. Dance with My Father, released in 2003, became his most personal and powerful recording, a tribute to his late father that won the Grammy for Song of the Year. Tragically, Luther had suffered a severe stroke just before its release and never performed again. Luther Vandross passed away on July 1st, 2005, at 54 years old. But when you want to hear what absolutely perfect R&B singing sounds like, you put on Luther. That's not opinion. That's documented fact. Number 4, Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston had the most technically perfect voice in popular music history. Not just R&B, not just pop, all of it. That voice could do absolutely anything. Hit whistle tones, belt power notes, deliver tender vulnerability, and make it all sound effortless. Whitney was simply called The Voice, and nobody questioned why. Born in Newark, New Jersey in 1963 into music royalty, her mother was gospel singer Cissy Houston. Her cousin was Dionne Warwick, and her godmother was Aretha Franklin. Whitney grew up surrounded by vocal excellence, and somehow she surpassed all of it. When she sang the national anthem at Super Bowl 25 in 1991 during the Gulf War, she delivered a performance so powerful it became a best-selling single. And think about that. She made the national anthem, a song everyone knows, into something people wanted to buy and listen to repeatedly. That's vocal genius. I Will Always Love You, in 1992, showcased the full power of Whitney's instrument. That song stayed at #1 for 14 consecutive weeks, sold over 20 million copies worldwide, and remains one of the best-selling singles of all time. The way she builds from restrained verses to that explosive final chorus is a masterclass in dynamics and emotional storytelling. Whitney sold over 200 million records, won 6 Grammys, and holds the Guinness World Record as the most awarded female artist in history. But substance abuse ravaged her voice and her life. By the 2000s, the technical perfection was gone, replaced by a shadow of former greatness. Whitney Houston drowned in a hotel bathtub on February 11, 2012, at 48 years old, with cocaine in her system. The voice that could do anything couldn't save her from herself. But at her peak, Whitney Houston was untouchable. Number 3, Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder is the only artist in history who could legitimately claim to be better at playing instruments, writing songs, producing records, and singing than almost anyone else in music. But we're here to talk about that voice, a voice that could make you dance, make you think, make you cry, and make you believe in the power of music to change the world.
Let us spark the fire.
Born Steveland Hardaway Judkins in Saginaw, Michigan in 1950, Stevie was blind from birth but possessed a musical gift that seemed almost supernatural. He signed with Motown at age 11 and became Little Stevie Wonder. But by his 20s, he'd outgrown the nickname and become simply a wonder of modern music. Between 1972 and 1976, Stevie released 5 albums that are considered among the greatest in music history. Talking Book, Inner Visions, Fulfillingness First Finale, and Songs in the Key of Life. This wasn't just a hot streak. This was artistic perfection sustained over 4 years, something almost no one has matched before or since. What makes Stevie's voice special is its versatility and emotional range. He can deliver playful funk on Superstition, tender romance on Ribbon in the Sky, spiritual longing on Higher Ground, and social commentary on Living for the City, all with equal mastery. His voice adapts to whatever emotion or message the song requires while remaining distinctly, unmistakably Stevie. He's won 25 Grammy Awards, sold over 100 million records, and is the only artist to win Album of the Year 3 times consecutively.
Nothing more to say.
But he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2014, recognizing not just his music, but his activism for civil rights and humanitarian causes. Stevie Wonder didn't just sing R&B. He expanded what R&B could be, proving it could be socially conscious, musically complex, and commercially successful all at once. Number 2, Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye possessed the most sensual, sophisticated, emotionally complex voice in R&B history.
There's too many of you crying.
He could make love songs sound like sacred experiences and protest songs sound like personal confessions.
Mother, mother.
Marvin didn't just sing, he testified. He seduced, he challenged, he healed. Born Marvin Pence Gaye Jr. in Washington, D.C. in 1939, he was the son of a strict Pentecostal minister who believed secular music was sinful. That tension between the sacred and the sensual defined Marvin's entire career and gave his voice its unique emotional depth.
Talk to me, honey, so you can see.
Marvin started at Motown in the early 60s, delivering smooth romantic hits that showcased his incredible range and control.
Me with brutality.
But it was What's Going On in 1971 that transformed him from hitmaker to visionary artist. And that album tackled war, poverty, environmental destruction, and spiritual searching with a sophistication R&B had never quite achieved before. Marvin's multi-tracked vocals created lush harmonies that made protest music sound beautiful rather than angry. Then came Let's Get It On in 1973, possibly the most unapologetically sexual song to ever top the charts. Marvin sang about physical desire with such elegance and passion that even conservative radio stations couldn't resist playing it. He made sensuality sound spiritual. But Marvin struggled with addiction, depression, and financial problems throughout the 1980s. He moved back in with his parents, a broken man trying to rebuild his life and career.
What's going on? Hey.
On April 1st, 1984, one day before his 45th birthday, Marvin's father shot and killed him during a domestic dispute.
People don't punish me.
The voice that had given the world so much beauty was silenced in the most tragic, senseless way imaginable. Marvin Gaye's influence is immeasurable. Every R&B singer who's ever tried to be sexy, socially conscious, or spiritually searching learned from Marvin first. He showed us that R&B could be art. Number 1, Aretha Franklin. There is no debate, there is no argument, there is only the undeniable truth. Aretha Franklin is the greatest singer in R&B history, and quite possibly the greatest singer in all of popular music. The Queen of Soul didn't earn that title through hype or marketing. She earned it through 4 decades of vocal performances that have never been equaled, let alone surpassed.
Sing along with Rita.
Born in Memphis in 1942, Aretha grew up in Detroit as the daughter of prominent Baptist minister C.L. Franklin. She started singing in her father's church, and that gospel foundation gave her voice a spiritual power that secular music had never quite heard before.
Now you guys know that I really don't.
When Aretha sang, you didn't just hear notes, you heard testimony. You heard the black church. Now you heard struggle and triumph and faith all wrapped into one incredible voice. Aretha signed with Atlantic Records in 1966, and producer Jerry Wexler had one instruction: let Aretha be Aretha.
Give it to me when I hit that front door. Hey!
The result was I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You in 1967, followed immediately by her iconic version of Respect. Otis Redding wrote Respect, but Aretha owned it, transformed it from a song about romantic respect into an anthem for civil rights and women's liberation. When Aretha spelled out R-E-S-P-E-C-T, she wasn't asking for respect, she was demanding it. What made Aretha's voice supernatural was the combination of technical perfection and raw emotional power. She had a 4-octave range and could execute the most complex melismatic runs with absolute precision. But she also had something technical training can't teach: soul. When Aretha sang A Natural Woman or Chain of Fools or Think, you believed every single word because she put her entire life experience into every note. Aretha Franklin won 18 Grammy Awards, sold 75 million records worldwide, was the first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and received the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She sang at 3 presidential inaugurations, and her funeral in 2018 was attended by presidents, celebrities, and thousands of people whose lives she'd touched through music. Rolling Stone magazine named her the #1 greatest singer of all time. Not #1 R&B singer, #1 singer, period. And they were absolutely right. Aretha Franklin passed away on August 16, 2018. At 76 years old from pancreatic cancer.
I love you, New York.
But her voice is immortal. Long after all of us are gone, people will still be listening to Aretha and asking themselves the same question we're asking now. How did one human voice contain that much power, that much emotion, that much soul? The answer is simple. Aretha Franklin wasn't just a singer.
R-E-S-P-C-T.
She was the voice of a people, the sound of liberation, the Queen of Soul. And no one, absolutely no one, will ever sing like Aretha Franklin again.